So, in this video, we are bringing you the long-awaited sequel to our first video. Suffice to say, we are going to read the next canto, which I think is a baby step. That
What do you mean?
it is a baby step in the journey that is the Divine Comedy.
Alright.
It's like the prodigal son, Avi. It's like you have returned to the poem.
Us doing this video is a baby step.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying the canto itself.
No.
I was like, this is
Yeah.
okay, sure.
Yeah.
I don't know
Anyways.
what point you're getting at, but
Anyways, let's begin. So, this is Canto 2. I'm just gonna read the summary that Mandelbaum gives us. The following evening, invocation to the Muses, the narrator's questioning of his worthiness to visit the deathless world, Virgil's comforting explanation that he has been sent to help Dante by 3 ladies of heaven, the voyager heartened their setting out. Yeah, we'll get to it. But what the invocation of muses is like something that is very common for epic poems. Like in the Odyssey, they do it. God damn it, that one was like literally like 3 pages of a invocation to the muses.
is it like a...
Dante's is much faster.
What is an invocation to the Muses?
Oh, it's basically like being like it's like saying that like you are like able to do what you're doing through like the
Is it like you're pitching you're like you're in the Shark Tank? It's your Shark Tank pitch.
Yeah, wait, that's actually really good. Yeah. You're like no, it's basically like saying like it's basically like a humble related thing. Like you're kind of like saying that you need help from like a greater muse. Basically.
Is it like a plea to angels?
It's we'll get to it.
Alright.
Yeah. Okay. So Canto 2. The day was now departing. The dark air released the living beings of the earth from work and weariness, and I myself alone prepared to undergo the battle both of the journeying and of the pity which memory, mistaking not, shall show. O Muses, O high genius, help me now. O memory that set down what I saw, here shall your excellence reveal itself. I started. Poet, you who are my guide, see if the force in me is strong enough before you let me face that rugged pass. You say that he who fathered Silvius, while he was still corruptible, had journeyed into the deathless world with his live body.
Wait, I need to...
Yeah. There is there are notes in the back that can help with understanding the historical references. Yeah, so I'm just gonna read one of the earlier notes regarding the muses, the invocation to the muses specifically. The invocation to the muses is in the epic tradition, but the invocation to alto ingenio high genius, which may well mean that genius which strives for lofty things, and to mente, which here means memory rather than mind or spirit, is Dante's innovation. Interesting.
Say it one more time.
It's funny because like these footnotes are actually like really esoteric. Like that's actually like the part that fucked me up so hard when I was reading that Paradiso, because like it's already so like impossible.
Yeah.
And like it's just further compounded by like these like really cryptic half half revealing, half concealing facts. But I feel like it's what like gives it a little bit of a challenge. I'm actually considering getting the other two books in this translation by Mark Musa. Because I think that it'll be a lot more accessible, and that might actually be a better translation. But I think that there's still value in doing this translation because this is like a really good translation. Like I have faith in you, Avi.
So it sounds like as though what they're saying is that Dante not only is like making an invocation to the muses, but an invocation to to alto ingenio and to mente, which means memory. So it's like he's invoking both his intelligence and his memory. So it's like there's an introspective process.
Yes, that is actually really astute of you to notice.
Okay. All right. So okay, I got it. So who's Sylvius? Still don't know who that is.
So let's look at that. Oh, here we go. Dante draws heavily on Virgil's Aeneid, which recounts the wandering of the defeated Trojans as Aeneas leads them to Italy to found what will become the Roman Empire. In Book 6, Aeneas, who will later become the father of Sylvius, travels to the world of the dead to seek his own father's guidance and to hear his prophecies about Rome. Of course, the pagan city of Rome, founded by Aeneas, prefigures a greater city, the holy seat of the church in the Christian era.
They're just like, why don't we just pepper in some like Catholic propaganda?
No, this isn't.
Okay, fine, Christian propaganda, whatever. It's not.
So okay, now that we know who Sylvius is.
Well, it didn't actually matter because all he said was he who fathered Sylvius. So he's really just talking about Aeneas.
Yeah.
I also love his name is Anus.
No, that's why I laughed, because I think that I might be like mispronouncing it, and it's really funny because you're right. It sounds like I'm saying Anus. Like that is true. Yeah.
So he's kind of like, you know, someone else did it before, so I guess,
Exactly.
you know, and a mortal is, it's possible for a mortal to take that descent.
Right. Yeah. So, you say that he who fathered Silvius while he was still corruptible had journeyed into the deathless world with his live body. For if the enemy of every evil was courteous to him, considering all he would cause and who and what he was, that does not seem incomprehensible, since in the Empyrean heaven he was chosen to father honored Rome and her empire. And if the truth be told, Rome and her realm were destined to become the sacred place, the seat of the successor of great Peter. Saint Peter.
Okay.
I think he's still talking about Aeneas.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically he was the founder of Rome.
Yeah, I guess like that footnote kind of covered that part as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alright, let's continue. And through the journey you ascribed to him, he came to learn of things that were to bring his victory and to the papal mantle. I always pause when I read something like this because it's too vague, right?
Well, I guess it just seems like as though this journey was extremely, you know, important for his development.
Right.
Because it says, and if truth be told, and through the journey you ascribed to him, he came to learn of things that were to bring his victory and to.
So I guess what they're saying is
the mantle.
that like he would bring victory, he would found Rome, and then that would lead to like the Roman Catholic Church, like creating a papal mantle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why that confused me at first. Later the chosen vessel traveled there to bring us back assurance of that faith with which the way to our salvation starts. Yeah, okay. So what my understanding of this is, like, the chosen vessel is still Aeneas, and he traveled to the underworld, and he brought back assurance of that faith with which the way of our salvation starts. So like he like brought back knowledge of the underworld, and so like he's basically saying that, like in a way he's saying that Aeneas is like the first guide into hell, and that's why it's so interesting that he has Virgil be his guidance, because Virgil wrote the poem The Aeneid, which is about Aeneas.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, do you know any more, like, you know, context as to why Virgil is like Dante's guide?
I think this is the reason. This is like.
So it's kind of just like this weird like cosine thing. It's like
Well, dude, I mean, doesn't it just seem so perfect that like, um, he's talking about like this guy who's already gone down into hell, like sort of like dancing around the fact that like, yeah, I have to do that. Like, so it's kind of daunting, I think, to him, and that's why he's like saying all of this stuff about anus,
Right. And that's
in order to give himself like, reassurance.
and that is Dante.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
And also he's probably like, hey, Virgil, you got my back, right? Because like, you wrote about this already, so it's like you already beat the game, sort of.
Yeah.
All right, are we continuing?
Yeah.
All right.
So
Later, the chosen vessel travel there to bring us back assurance of that faith with which the way to our salvation starts.
So the way to our salvation is like going through, like Dante's salvation, which is going through Inferno, Purgatorio, and then Paradiso.
What does it mean by later the chosen vessel traveled there? Are they talking about Anus?
Yeah, Anus, yeah.
So why is it the chronology or the order of this statement? It goes that through the journey that he was able to learn things that bring him victory and the papal mantle, and then later the chosen vessel traveled there to bring us assurance of that faith. So I'm not,
So something that you have to be very you have to be very you have to be willing to let go of like your ability to understand what is being said. Sometimes it doesn't make literal sense. It's sort of like it's kind of like it's close to what they're trying to say, but it's not
maybe
quite.
the footnotes say something.
No, the footnote rarely gives explications.
Oh no, actually it is, because the chosen vessel is Saint Paul.
Oh, very good.
For Saint Paul's, and it's referencing Saint Paul's ascent to the third heaven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Saint Paul, I believe, was another person who journeyed through paradise.
Yeah. But like the
yeah.
interesting part about this is that it says the third heaven, right? So that's obviously Paradiso.
Yeah.
And then similarly, there is a kind of allusion of sorts that's made to, was it Prometheus, the one who stole fire from the gods?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so. But basically, this is like a similar, he traveled there to bring us back assurance of that faith with which the way to our salvation starts. So it's like the faith that he is bringing back is kind of like religion, maybe. I don't know, like, because religion is based on faith, and it also is the beginning of our salvation. That just screams of Christian.
Yeah.
Rhetoric.
You also have to get very used to just like letting the Christian like ideology just like kind of slide off your back. Not off your back, but you just gotta kind of get used to it. Just like give them their thing.
Okay.
Let them have their conceptions about their God.
Sorry.
What you doing there?
Idris Elba was in the movie Prometheus.
Who's that?
You don't know who Idris Elba is?
Oh yeah, no, I do know who it is.
Okay. Yeah, I was not looking for this movie, but anyways, there it is. Yo. Yeah. Yeah, he stole fire from the gods.
Yeah.
And then he was punished. Okay.
Did you know that Frankenstein used to have the like pre-note in its title, that it was Frankenstein, the modern Prometheus.
Yeah, I knew that.
Mm. All right, moving on. But why should I go there? Who sanctions it? For I am not Aeneas, am not Paul, nor I nor others think myself so worthy. Therefore, if I consent to start this journey, I fear my venture may be wild and empty. You're wise, you know far more than what I say. And just as he who unwills what he wills, and shifts what he intends to seek new ends, so that he's drawn from what he had begun, so was I in the midst of that dark land, because with all my thinking, I annulled the task I had so quickly undertaken. Make sense? So he's basically talking about the fact that he's second guessing himself.
Yeah, I just need to refresh my memory on the definition of annulled. What does that mean?
It's it means to like it's kind of like to nullify, I believe. I hope I'm right.
Declare invalid.
Yeah, nullify.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very relatable.
Yeah. If I've understood what you have said, replied the shade of that great-hearted one, your soul has been assailed by cowardice, which often weighs so heavily on a man, distracting him from honorable trials, as phantoms frighten beasts when shadows fall. That you may be delivered from this fear, I'll tell you why I came and what I heard when I first felt compassion for your pain. I was among those souls who are suspended. A lady called to me, so blessed, so lovely, that I implored to serve at her command. Her eyes surpassed the splendor of the stars, and she began to speak to me, so gently and softly, with angelic voice. She said, and we can pause there.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, you know? He's like, this mission has a purpose, and like, also, there's a sort of call to action, maybe.
Yeah. You're also getting a little taste of what it's like in Paradiso, where like basically everyone's constantly like circle jerking. Like everyone's like, "You're so happy, so that makes me happy, ah!" And
Well, I mean, okay, never mind. Anyways.
yeah,
Are they talking, who's the angelic voice?
that is Beatrice.
Okay, I thought that
Yeah,
would be...
yeah, that was a good deduction. All right. So she said, O spirit of the courteous mansion, whose fame is still a presence in the world, and shall endure as long as the world lasts, my friend, who has not been the friend of fortune, is hindered in his path along that lonely hillside. He has been turned aside by terror. From all that I have heard of him in heaven, he is, I fear, already so astray that I have to come to help him much too late. Go now, with your persuasive word, with all that is required to see that he escapes. Bring help to him, that I may be consoled. For I am Beatrice, who send you on. I come from where I most long to return. Love prompted me, that love which makes me speak. When once again I stand before my Lord, then I shall often let him hear your praises. Now Beatrice was silent. I began. It's crazy how this is all still like Virgil's explanation to Dante of how shit went down. He's like, first Beatrice said this, and then I said this in response, and then she said, it's like, you get this shit in fucking epic poetry all the time.
Yeah.
Do you want to pause and talk about what we just read?
Sure.
Also, I feel like as though we haven't really been talking much about like MBTI.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe like you can take charge of that, and like you don't have a quota or anything. You don't even have to mention it. But like
Right.
just keep a lookout for if there's anything interesting that you notice.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I think is, a little interesting, and I could just be reading into this, is like the part when he is talking about his, where is it? The invocation, actually. The invocation, and his like his specific like invocation of both memory and what was the other one? Oh, like brilliance or whatever, genius.
Yeah, genius.
That to me speaks of like him accessing like a level of insight that was not apparent to him before, and I mean, memory is an interesting thing from a cognitive perspective, because you essentially have many different, I mean, you have I think two types of memory. You have like static memory, that is what you know, and then you have a more intuitive memory, which is like introverted intuition. And so it's like the invocation of genius and memory speaks to maybe him accessing both. Like you're invoking both like the memory of what you already have experienced, but also like,
Dude, it makes way more sense because I'm assuming you're working under the understanding that Dante is an INFJ.
No, I'm actually,
Because you said NI.
well, so I feel
In
like,
what I felt should have been SI. Because he's literally recalling things from memory.
well, so the thing is that he also like the high genius that he is referring to is like supposed to be some like holy divination of the truth or something, right? And because of that, I think that my eye hurts.
the contact itchy?
I don't know what it is.
You might need to replace your contacts.
I'm not wearing contacts.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Here, wait, can we pause this?
Yeah, you can pause it.